What happens to football if Kylian Mbappe moves to the Saudi League? Right, let's get into it. Before we start, just to let you know that PSG have accepted an offer from Al-Hilal, the Saudi Arabian club, for Kylian Mbappe. It's around £259 million. I believe that's around 300 million euros. But that's just it. PSG have accepted the offer. Kylian Mbappe is not in negotiations with Al-Hilal at this point. But if it did happen, what does that mean for football worldwide? Well, I think the first thing it means is that the Saudi Arabian football regime, so to speak, is immediately legitimised. And that's not to say that it was shady before or anything like that. That there are other arguments. We're not talking about that right now. But at the minute, we're all still seeing the Saudi Arabian League as a retirement league. Yes, some of the players that have gone over there are big names and massive names, but ultimately they're still all old men. If Kylian Mbappe moves over there, one of the best footballers in the world right now, and possibly on par with, let's say, Messi and Ronaldo, it would have been that journey, that story arc that we would have seen from Mbappe. If he moves to the Saudi Arabian League, that immediately legitimizes that league. It brings it into contention with one of the most competitive leagues in the world. Having stars like that will immediately make other players want to come over. And that brings us to the second point. If Kylian Mbappe moves to the Saudi Arabian League, you'll have a brain drain, although footballers don't tend to have many brains. You'll have a talent drain from Europe's best leagues. Because the Saudi Arabian League is now legitimised in the football world's eye, those players will immediately hop on the ship. Of course they will. For that money, in a now competitive league, of course you'll go over there. And in doing that, and in the drain of resources from Europe's best leagues, immediately you start to see some of the best parts of football in Europe kind of die. I think you'll see leagues that haven't always been the most competitive but still hold weight in the European sphere. I think you'll see them kind of fall away, possibly Ligue 1. I don't really see any other superstar choosing to go to the French league now. And it also takes a little bit of magic away from the Champions League as well. That's not to say the Champions League will crumble and die, but the idea of the Champions League is the best of the best battling it out for one trophy. Now, if legitimately the best of the best is not even in the catchment area of the competition, that magic starts to crumble. It starts to erode away from the whole point of the competition. So again, Kylian Mbappe moving to Saudi Arabia takes something away from one of the best competitions in world football. Ultimately, I think this move would also lend itself to the idea that we might just end up with one footballing league. Let's face it, nobody can really compete with the money that Saudi Arabia have. It's the richest country on earth, or one of the richest countries on earth. If this transfer goes through, their recruitment plan has worked way beyond their imagination. And therefore, they will be able to sign practically anybody they want. So 5 years down the line, it might be the case that every incredibly talented footballer is playing in Saudi Arabia. So rather than the model of football we have now, where we have 5 elite leagues across Europe, another 10 leagues across Europe that is just underneath that, and they all pull into the Champions League, Europa League Conference, whatever it is, rather than having that system, I think it would very much resemble the NBA system of basketball, where you have one league, which is the elite, the greatest of the great. They play each other almost every night. If you want to see great basketball, you switch on your television and you watch the NBA. Basketball still exists everywhere else in the world, but everybody knows it's a bit shit. You've got EuroLeague basketball, you've got Basketball in China, you know, these leagues are still, you know, good basketball, but nobody really tunes in to watch them. If you want to watch good basketball, you watch the NBA. And I think this move of Kylian Mbappe's to Saudi Arabia may start to create an NBA-style competition in Saudi Arabia. A super league, in effect. Without the teams of old, without the teams of history, but they will have the big star players. They will have the best 400, 500 players in the world all playing in that league because they can. Because they can afford it and because the competition is legitimized by their presence being there. I think this is a big move. It's a big turning point in football history. Obviously, it's not happened yet. I can't speak to what Kylian Mbappe is going to do. I don't really have any opinions on whether he should do it or he shouldn't do it. That's his personal preference. I do see it panning out to be an incredibly big decision for the future of football. What do you guys think? If you have any ideas about what this move will do to the future of football, leave it in the comments below. Give your opinions on whether it should or shouldn't happen. Make sure you leave a like on this video as well and subscribe for more daily reviews, updates, podcasts, fan experience vlogs, the lot here on All Sport Reports. Thank you very much. See you later.